I'd like to talk a little bit about the second major portfolio for class, the academic research portfolio. So this slideshow video is just a simple overview of where we're going with this assignment. As you recall, the class is divided up into three basic portfolios, or really just groups of writing assignments. We just got done with or about to get finished with the Getting Started portfolio, which is basically about coming up with an idea in the first place. The second portfolio, the academic research portfolio, is where you continue to get into your research. As I say here, remix it in different ways. I'll show you what I mean with that in a second, and also write more and in more detail about your working thesis, your research, and the point you're trying to make with your research. The last portfolio, called the Research Transform portfolio, is about what will happen at the end of the class and how you will represent your research in different genres for an audience of people beyond our class. Now remember, there's no such thing as one big research paper in this class. It's all a series of smaller components, trying to isolate different parts of the research process and trying to focus on indeed the process of doing research writing rather than on one big, huge object of research, if that makes sense. That said, this is as close as it gets to an academic research project because this portfolio does include an essay that will look a lot like most people like a research project, research essay. This is also the portfolio that's worth the most. The first two portfolios are each worth 150 points, and this middle portfolio is worth 400 points. Now, it consists of these parts. It's the second half of the annotated bibliography, which is really just a continuation of what you started with. You'll use that same annotated bibliography document, and you will add in another at least 10 sources onto your annotated bibliography. And we'll talk in conference about this, but you'll probably want to consider different kinds of sources than what you had before. So if you mostly had, for example, popular press, internet-based sources for the first half of your annotated bibliography, you'll want to for sure do some more library research for the second half, and probably vice versa, but we'll speak with each other about that. Then there are two exercises, the antithesis essay exercise and the research inventory and chart exercise, that are kind of ways of rethinking and mashing up and working with the research that you have. These essays, assignments, in my experience, have been a mixed success, but usually one or the other is beneficial. What I mean by this is students often will tell me that the antithesis essay really helped them a lot, but the research inventory essay didn't. But also I'll have students also tell me, almost as many students tell me, the research inventory essay helped a lot, but the antithesis essay didn't. In brief, the antithesis essay asks you to write a brief essay with research that takes the opposite stand of your working thesis. The point of this is to really sort of test the debatability of your topic. After all, if everybody agrees on a particular issue, there really isn't a lot of room to do the kind of research writing we're doing this semester. The second, the research inventory and chart essay, is an exercise where I ask you to literally make a chart where you try to map out the kind of categories you have for the research you've collected so far, and to explain what you've learned from categorizing and inventorying your research. The sustain and develop research essay is the part of this portfolio that is the most like a research paper. And what I'm asking you to do is to write several pages with an essay using research to make a point. That, at the end of the day, is really what a research paper, research essay is about. And last but not least, there's also a reflection essay with this portfolio, the academic portfolio reflection essay. Once again, keep in mind that the main audience for your project should be the people in this class, your fellow students, and myself. So we all know what you're talking about, what you're researching generally, but you may have to sort of clue us in on some of the specifics because we don't know as much about your topic as you do. And also, we also all know about the particular assignments that we're working on together. So that is kind of a shorthand that you can refer to. So in other words, you don't have to explain in your reflection essay, for example, what the antithesis essay exercise was, but you do have to explain what you did with your version of it. We'll also have we'll also have plenty of peer review sessions for each of these projects, and we'll also have another conference. This time I'm going to require everyone to use Google Hangouts just because of the logistics of it, and also because if you didn't use it before, you really should give it a try. And be sure to check the calendar for the details when these assignments and the conferences and everything else will be due.